Welcome to Successful Living with Bill KNAPIK. Every week we talk about success and everything that goes along with it. You'll learn the principles of success, how to achieve success, and learn to overcome challenges that may be getting in the way of success in your life. You'll hear from Bill KNAPIK, a radio personality and business development expert, along with insight from special guests. If you're ready to find your path to success or take the success you're enjoying to the next level, stay tuned. Successful Living with Bill KNAPIK is on right now.
And welcome to the show, Successful Living with Bill KNAPIK. And today with Kyle Hemminger and Scott Blount. These gentlemen join us from a company called Lancaster Pollard. So whether you are listening here in Houston, Texas, Austin, Texas, or anywhere else, we think you're going to enjoy the show because we have very interesting people that are going to talk about an important topic today. As always, on with the show. And first of all, gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Very good. Well, let's start with Kyle. Kyle, first of all, tell people that are listening about your company, and both of you all are located in Austin, Texas, but tell us about your company, Lancaster Pollard.
Sure. Lancaster Pollard is a specialized finance and investment banking firm. Started in the late 1980s and based out of Columbus, Ohio. We do have offices across the country, but really focusing on what Scott and I do is senior living finance and healthcare finance, so hospital finance. We do have a third industry we focus on, affordable housing, but Scott and I only really work on the senior living and hospital finance side. So within that, Lancaster Pollard has a few subordinate companies. There's Lancaster Pollard and Company. That's our investment banking firm, our broker-dealer. Usually with that firm, what we're doing is selling tax-exempt or taxable bonds to raise capital for building new hospitals or senior living communities. We also have Lancaster Pollard and Company. That's our mortgage banking company. We are a HUD lender and Fannie Mae lender. Also make loans for senior living and hospital organizations through USDA as well. Then there's our balance sheet. We are not a bank in the traditional sense that we don't take deposits, but we do have our own lending platform that we can make, proprietary loans of our own capital. And then finally, we are an investor in senior housing space. So we own senior living communities, and really that's a program to help growing operators reach their goals. So we provide development capital or capital for acquisitions, predetermined purchase prices for those owners to reacquire the real estate from us at a later date.
Very nice. And as I said, very important work you're doing. And of course, you are also have helped Sundance Memory Care. Those that listen on a regular basis know that they are one of our sponsors. And Matt Stanley, the president there, always interjects and helps people with their locations called Sundance Memory Care, especially with diminished memory. But your scope goes beyond just diminished memory care facilities like Sundance, right?
Yeah, that's correct. So when we look at senior living and how we would define it or divide it, when you're talking about lower acuity, that's something more along the lines of independent living. Usually those look a lot like senior apartments, but will also have amenities and other features, add-on services, perhaps a restaurant attached to the property, room cleaning, laundry, those types of services, but really for very active adults or active seniors. Then the next highest level of acuity would be assisted living. Beyond that, you have memory care, which is really where we overlapped or crossed into Sundance Memory Care. And then finally, skilled nursing. Once you go beyond skilled nursing is where you come into true acute care, and that's where the hospital side comes into play.
Very interesting. And also, Scott, would you join in and tell us your position there is you are the vice president and also a chartered financial analyst. Give us your perspective of the company and what your role is there.
Yeah, so Kyle and I both are based in Austin, Texas. Our firm's strategy has been to have bankers cover the entire country and having them located in the states that they cover. So Kyle covers Central and North Texas, and I cover South, being San Antonio, Houston, Beaumont, and then all of Louisiana. And so Kyle and I we're there to help both regional and national players that are based in Texas, as well as folks that are looking to do one or two facilities in a particular area. And so Kyle and I are there to offer our clients advice, structuring deals, helping them source their capital, whether it be debt, equity from our firm, help them divest facilities through our M&A group. Basically, we want to serve as their kind of one stop for any needs that they may have on the capital side.
And just in case people may be near their computer, I think it's always a great idea. If you would, Scott, tell people the website in case they want to look at it as we talk. You do have a phenomenal website that explains all these things that you're doing. Tell them the website.
Yeah, our website, the firm's website is www.Lancaster, L-A-N, as in Nancy, C-A-S-T-E-R, Pollard, P as in Paul, OLLARD.com.
And also, Scott, your designation is a Chartered Financial Analyst. Just in case someone is not familiar with that, give them an idea of what that role is and what that designation means.
Yeah, so the CFA charter holder is one who's passed 3 years of tests, and basically it's for folks that want to have a higher designation in learning how to analyze financial statements and then offer investment advice. So a CFA charter holder has gone through the ringer in learning, all the ins and outs of a balance sheet, accounting statements, and so on. It's what I call more of a high-level MBA, degree with an emphasis on finance and investment portfolio management.
Yeah, very interesting. And also, it sounds like in your role, I don't know about Kyle, but it sounds like you also do a lot of traveling in your role at the company.
Yes, so because I cover Louisiana as well as South Texas, I'm actually heading on a flight today to New Orleans to visit with some prospects and clients. And the point of our firm having local bankers is to have that local knowledge of the market, interact with them on a weekly, monthly basis to provide assistance and insight on not only what their opportunities are, but essentially us bringing opportunities to them based upon our understanding of various clients.
Very interesting. And many people know that this show is recorded. It is being recorded. We are having terrific amounts of rains here in Houston, and I wish you safe travels today, especially with Louisiana and that. In the meantime, Kyle, tell people also, as far as the locations, again, you're based in Ohio, and how many locations do you have around the country, and what is the scope of your service?
Sure. So we cover every state in the country at this point. And the majority of the company is based in Columbus, Ohio, but as Scott said, we have regional offices, which is predominantly where our banking staff works out of, just so they can be closer to to our clients. So in addition to the office in Columbus, Ohio, and Austin, Texas, we have offices in Denver, Newport Beach, California, Philadelphia, Minneapolis, Atlanta, and Lawrence, Kansas as well.
Very interesting. In fact, just a side note, I grew up around the Philadelphia area there in Harrisburg and lived near a town called Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So I don't know if that's any relation to the company or not. But also I want to say, too, as we talk about success on this show, we talk about all sorts of things and challenges and things like that. But I noticed in your biography, Kyle, that you are a West Point graduate and a military veteran. So I want to say thank you for your service. And tell us about your West Point experience, if you can share a word on that. And again, maybe a core principle of success that's really stuck with you, that's helping you in the business world.
Yeah, I think, the largest contributing factor to my success is just a continuing desire to succeed. I've never really been accepting of the status quo, so I was always looking for the next challenge. To push myself, to learn more, and I just don't like to get complacent. I like to have a new struggle that makes me feel uncomfortable and makes me, I think, a little bit sharper on my job. So West Point certainly presented that opportunity for me when I attended there, and I had a great experience. Served 5 years in the Army and ended up getting medically separated for a non-combat related injury, but I love that team environment and the challenges it posed for me, and it's just continued to benefit me to this day.
There's no doubt about it, and you take that same passion and commitment to your business world, no doubt. How long have you been in Texas, Kyle?
I moved down to Austin a little over 2 years ago, And I started with Lancaster Pollard in the summer of 2011 after graduating from Ohio State with my MBA.
And give us a word. We're based in Houston here, but tell us about Austin. I mean, people rave about Austin. What's your perspective on Austin, Texas?
I couldn't say enough nice things about this city. Moving from Columbus, Ohio, there were a lot of similarities. Both cities were the state capital. You have large public universities here. So you're just a great place to raise a family, and it's been nothing but a great experience to date.
And no doubt about it. It's funny, as I grew up in the north there in Pennsylvania, I used to go to Austin a lot. I always drew the similarity where Austin combines two of my favorite places in terms of terrain, and that is Pennsylvania with the rolling hills, but also with the architecture. I love Southern California, so it's a bit of a blend in my imaginative state as I look at it. But hey, Scott, give us a word too now. Austin, Texas, great place to do business. Have you been in Austin for a while?
Yeah, I've been with the firm since 2009. I moved to Austin in 2010, so I've been, down in Austin. If you've been in Austin more than 5 years, you're considered a local. So I've garnered local status, but been here 6 years and I've enjoyed every minute of it. The outdoor activities, always some sort of a festival or fair going on downtown. The centralized, location where everybody's coming into downtown for events. The food, it's become a foodie town. South by Southwest. A lot of arts and culture are brought in. It's kind of a melting pot for the central states. So I really enjoy my time here.
No doubt about it. And also, I'll direct people, as I mentioned, the website. When I was on the website and I put your name in the search field, Scott, I found it interesting. It seems like you have a lot of articles. I didn't get to see them all, but it looks like you're contributing a lot of information, or there were a lot of articles that you read that were posted on the website. Tell people about some of the things that they can find that you've written there on the website.
Yeah, so our company, we want to be a thought leader in what we're, sharing with our clients and with the industry. So we post what's called the Capital Source. It's about every other month a bi-monthly newsletter that we post, and it includes articles on, the healthcare, hospital sectors, affordable housing, senior living, and then really any other, type of article on those, type of industries. And, some of the articles I've written have been on, hospital financings using the FHA 242 program. I've talked about derivatives, which are, financial engineered products for, a lot of times we use them with tax-exempt bond financing. I don't want to get too far into the weeds on some of the articles, but, the intent of being, of creating those articles is to allow our clients to get a better understanding of what's out there, what's available, and let them know that we're trying to be experts in our field.
Well, indeed, as both of you gentlemen work with the senior housing of whatever brand it is, it strikes me as, even as I think about Matt Stanley leading Sundance Memory Care and his passion for what he does, it strikes me that it's interesting that where do you all get such interest and passion to help people so much older? Now, I don't know how old you are, but I looked on the website. You look like very sharp, accomplished young men. But what is it about this profession that attracts you, that drives you every day? Maybe let's start with Kyle there on that one.
Sure. When I was in the middle of my MBA program, I did an internship at a large hospital in Cleveland, Ohio, the Metro Health system up there. And I did finance and strategy for the hospital, and that was a great experience to me. I knew I wanted to have some connection that felt more like a mission or something, a better purpose to serve, and healthcare certainly was that. That experience with the hospital was great, opened my eyes certainly, but then I also realized I wanted something that was a little bit more competitive and a little bit more higher paced, and that's what Lancaster Pollard offered me. We are traditional investment bankers and trying to help people raise capital. It requires you have great focus and great energy, but that was my exposure to really healthcare, and that's why I sought out a position with Lancaster Pollard.
Very interesting. Also, give us an idea. I know there's a lot of details and probably very complicated, but just the idea when we think about people in the banking business, how you help business people that have a business vision realize that vision, and also in turn help or serve people in whatever their profession. But give us an idea, like the very basics, that that happen in the banking world where, let's say, someone has an idea? In this case, I'm going to guess Matt Stanley had sought help with Sundance Memory Care, or even anyone else comes to you and says, hey, we have this idea. It's going to take X amount of dollars. Give us just a quick word on the process that takes place. Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, when we're approached by one of our clients with a proposal, one of our jobs is to be a good steward and assist them. So we do bring a lot of assets and resources to the table. Right now we have a portfolio of almost 500 senior housing across that entire spectrum, from independent living to skilled nursing loans in our portfolio. So when Matt or someone brings an idea to us, we have a lot of resources that we can help them kind of shape that proposal and maybe tweak it if necessary. We don't necessarily take the position, we don't pretend at all that we have an operating knowledge, but we do have these resources that we can help. So we're going to look at the market that they're trying to do whatever that project is in, analyze that market to make sure is there going to be sufficient demand to support that project. Then we're going to look at, well, what's the cost to finance, and comparing that to their pro forma, their business plan of here's going to be our revenues and expenses. Can we support the project that we want to undertake? And then after we've looked at the market and the pro forma, it really starts to come to, does the project make sense, and can we get this done?
Very nice. And also, when you mentioned the word resources, I would think that a gentleman like Scott is one of those resources, as he is the chartered financial analyst. Scott, tell us your role there as far as what Kyle just described. I mean, you get into the numbers and analyze the things that help the vision and drive the decision, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think our first job is really just to listen. So when a client or a prospect comes to us with an idea or a vision, we want to listen to hear, okay, what is it that you're trying to accomplish? Where are you in the process? And we'll listen and then take from that, offer ideas on, whether they need help with structuring the deal. Do they need additional equity? And can we partner them with somebody? Do they, they're already through the entitlement phase and they've got the land and everything ready. Now they're looking for construction financing. And then, we're really there to be a resource and to, what oftentimes I tell my clients that even if I, at Lancaster Pollard personally can't provide the financing, which, we're not going to be able to in every case, we're going to, steer them in the right direction to say, okay, if we can't do it, here's what your other options are. Or if we can do it, here's, kind of the, we try to frame it up to give them a better idea of where they're going and help them, guide them through that process from, either in the very infancy stage of just, I've got an idea to, analyzing pro formas and numbers to analyzing construction costs, partnering them with architects. Really, I kind of, Kyle and I do, I think, a great job of helping structure the deal and getting the right pieces to the puzzle in place to make, to allow the deal to be successful.
And also, I would ask you the same question as far as this profession and helping in the senior living and the healthcare, those categories and topics. What is it as a young man that drives you in this profession that even attracted you to begin with?
Oh, it's a few things. I mean, one, originally my grandmother went into a nursing home about 10, 15 years ago, and when I went in, I noticed how, I thought it was really a kind of a dodgy, older institutional-like place for her to end up passing away. I, immediately thought, how can I help here? And, going through, I got my master's in business administration from SMU, Southern Methodist University, and was looking into finance and saw Lancaster Pollard. They recruited me, out of that school and noticed that they had, commitment to the senior living industry. That was initially, a very attractive quality. And secondly, Kyle and I have worked on a number of transactions where, without our insight and, a lot of the rural areas don't have access to capital that some of the, larger national and, urban, players may have. And so, we've worked on transactions where we've been able to get, a hospital or a senior living facility financing to allow them to, improve the facility with capital expenditures and, lower their debt service so they can put more money back into the buildings. And seeing, when we go visit the opening or after the renovation's been completed and seeing the community and their faces light up and kind of gives them a renewed spirit and a sense of worth that, they do matter. And so, offering capital to, anyone, regardless of where, you're located, and having programs that can help fund those, that's really, one of the foundations of our firm.
It sounds like you're doing excellent and important work. And Kyle, with the last few minutes, what would you like to bring forth, and what else would you like people to know about Lancaster Pollard?
Sure. I mean, I think, we add a unique perspective. As we mentioned in the beginning, we are a lender, an advisor, and an investor, specifically in the senior housing and care space. And I think what that allows us to do is really give some unbiased assessments for our clients and give them perspective they might not get elsewhere. As Scott mentioned, we're perfectly happy to say, here are the things that we might be able to do for you, but we also show them what are the other options that maybe Lancaster Pollard can't provide to help our clients really grow their business. We understand that, that good faith is going to come back to us and, at a future date. You can't do everything for everyone all the time, but we're trying to do our best to help our clients really achieve their goals.
No doubt about it. And also, Kyle, tell people how they can learn more about your company, generally speaking, and then also specifically anybody in Texas or in the Austin and Houston area.
Sure. Well, in the Austin area, we obviously have our office where Scott and I are officed out of. That information is available on our website, and really any other information for financing programs or things that we're doing for both the senior housing and healthcare space can be found on our website. And that website, again, is www.lancasterpollard.com. There you can find the capital issue articles that we've referenced. We have those historical archives going back a number of years, as well as other information about our firm.
Excellent. Thank you again for your service to our country, Kyle. Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Hemminger and also Scott Blount, both with Lancaster Pollard, Vice Presidents. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you for your time.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Successful Living, and we also encourage you to stay tuned on this same station, 100.7 FM at 1 o'clock. We'll be talking real estate on Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title. And thank you for listening. Go to Bill KNAPIK radio shows for the complete show archives where you can hear this show and many others again and again. And until next week, thank you for listening.
It's a fresh approach to caring for people with memory loss, Alzheimer's disease, or other dementia-related symptoms. It's Sundance Memory Care, the premier memory care community in Texas. Sundance Memory Care gives extra care with a 6-to-1 resident-to-care ratio. The goal is to lift up and support residents with a level of care that engages the resident and includes their family. Sundance Memory Care has regular contact with specialists and industry leaders with the most innovative memory care resources. Visit SundanceMemoryCare.com or call 281-769-2632 to learn more about them and schedule a tour with one of their directors. That's SundanceMemoryCare.com.
If you've invested in rental property, it makes sense to invest in a property management company built specifically for your needs for the cost of a cup of coffee a day. BBB Business of Distinction and national award-winning Empire Industries Property Management will make your property a profitable, headache-free business investment. Visit online at EmpireIndustriesLLC.com or call 888-866-6727. Mention this ad and get a 1-month free management fee to try us out. Empire Industries Property Management, 888-866-6727.
Down Under Pools can help make your backyard a focal point for luxury outdoor living. Imagine coming home from a hard day's work and enjoying the evening in a spa-like environment with pool, water features, and lighting integrated seamlessly into your home and landscaping design. Down Under's design team has a seasoned eye for color, scale, proportion, and detail. Even more important is Down Under's commitment to the highest quality construction practices to achieve the highest standards of hydraulic and structural integrity. Down Under is one of the most creative and trusted pool and landscape builders in Houston because of their award-winning design and construction and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Visit downunderpools.com to see examples of what could be in your backyard. That's DOWNUNDA pools.com. Down Under. Pools for the mind, body, and soul.